The ton is whispering again. This time the whispers feel colder. As Season 4 approaches, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Not every familiar face will survive the drama, the secrets, and the consequences that are finally catching up. Before the carriages arrive and the violins begin, let's step into the shadows where the danger in Bridgerton truly lives. The ballroom lights may shine bright in Bridgerton, but behind the glittering chandeliers, the stakes have never been higher. Season 4 isn't just preparing us for another romance. It is preparing us for change, deep, unavoidable, and possibly heartbreaking. Even the most graceful members of the ton cannot escape the truth. Someone's story will end before the final curtain falls. As we step back into this world of polished smiles and hidden wounds, tension floats in the air like a perfume everyone can smell but no one dares name. Power is shifting, secrets are tightening their grip, and alliances that once felt unbreakable now tremble under the weight of choices made in past seasons. Every character walks into Season 4 carrying something heavy regrets, ambitions, shame, jealousy, and love that demands sacrifice. Last season left us with joy, yes, but also with fractures, whispers behind fans, letters never meant to be seen, promises that may crumble under pressure. And because Bridgerton loves a twist, these cracks may become the very reason not everyone survives the upcoming storm. Some characters are reaching the end of their arc. Some are stepping into conflicts they cannot win, and others are simply too close to the truth. This is not a season built on simple stories. It is built on consequences. Everything that has been brewing, every secret held, every heart broken, every rivalry sparked, now circles back like a dance with no escape. And while love may guide some characters toward happiness, it may push others straight into their final chapter. The question is no longer who will find love, but who will pay the price for it. In the world of Bridgerton, beauty is a mask, and every mask eventually cracks. As Season 4 unfolds, we must prepare ourselves. The glitter, the drama, the romance, all of it comes with a cost. And before this season ends, the ton will lose someone they never expected. Something has shifted in the world of Bridgerton. And it's not just the change of season. It's the feeling subtle at first, then undeniable that danger has slowly slipped into the center of the story. Season 4 doesn't carry the warm promise of a simple love match. Instead, it carries the sharp edge of consequences waiting to be uncovered. Every storyline we left behind is now returning with more weight, more emotion, more risk than ever before. Last season may have ended in celebration, but even the brightest joy casts a shadow. And in those shadows, secrets have been gathering. Strength. Old mistakes are no longer quiet. Hidden rivalries are no longer harmless. Characters who once stood safely on the sidelines may now find themselves dragged into conflicts they never imagined. This is no longer just a world of dances and declarations. This is a world where one wrong move can end everything. What makes Season 4 feel deadlier is not simply the drama, it's the crossroads every character is walking toward. Some face the pressure of protecting their families. Others face the fear of losing everything they've worked for. And a few are caught in emotional battles so overwhelming that survival is not guaranteed. Love in Bridgerton has always been beautiful, but now it comes with a warning. Devotion can break you just as easily as it can save you. We also cannot ignore the tension rising behind the curtains of high society. Scandal now spreads faster than truth. Power is shifting into new hands. And every whisper, every glance, every hidden letter threatens to push someone toward their final chapter. The stakes have reached a new height, not because the world has changed, but because the characters have. Some are stronger, some are weaker. Some are carrying secrets so heavy that they cannot outrun them any longer. And that is what makes this season truly dangerous. Every unresolved conflict from the past, 3 seasons is returning like a storm that refuses to be ignored. And storms, as we know, do not leave everyone standing by the time the final episode arrives. The audience will understand. Season 4 was never about who falls in love. It was always about who survives the cost of love and who won't make it. To the end, there is always one character whose story feels like it, has reached a dangerous turning point, one whose path no longer circles back to safety. In Season 4, that character stands closer to the edge than anyone else. Their world looks polished on the outside, but the cracks beneath their feet are widening. And every choice they made in past seasons is returning to demand a price. This character has been drifting toward a final test without even noticing it. Their conflicts have grown heavier, their secrets more difficult to protect, and their relationships more complicated than ever. While others around them chase love or power, this character is wrestling with something deeper, a guilt that keeps following them, a truth they can no longer hide, or an ambition that pushes them into dangerous territory. They are no longer moving through the story, they are being pushed by it. The Ton sees them as steady, predictable, even safe. But we, the viewers, know better. We've watched their storylines circle the same unresolved wound. We've seen moments where they looked strong on the surface while something fragile trembled underneath. They have become the perfect target for heartbreak, betrayal, or sacrifice, because their arc has reached the point where a major shift must happen. And sometimes in Bridgerton, that shift comes in the form of an exit. Hints have already been scattered across previous seasons. Conversation that ended too sharply, a relationship that never healed, a rumor that refuses to die. These are not small details, they are warnings. Warnings that this character's journey is no longer simply emotionally as risky. And while the show often chooses romance as its centerpiece, it also knows how to deliver a loss that stays with us long after the screen fades to black dot season. For May push this character into a corner where they must finally confront their biggest fear. Perhaps they'll face a scandal they cannot escape. Perhaps they'll be forced to make a sacrifice that costs them everything. Perhaps their downfall will come from a shocking betrayal that none of us saw coming. Whatever the cause, their storyline is moving with a quiet but undeniable energy toward a turning point, and in a season built on consequences. Not every turning point leads to survival. This character might be the first to fall, not because they deserve it, but because their story has nowhere else to go. Every season of Bridgerton chooses one character. The audience protects with their whole heart someone charming, lovable, and impossible not to root for. But in Season 4, that fan favorite finds themselves walking into a storm they never prepared for. Their smile still lights the room, their presence still softens the harshest moments. But behind that warmth is a widening shadow that could swallow them before the final episode arrives. What makes their situation so alarming is the illusion of safety wrapped around them. The Ton adores them. Their family sees them as dependable. Their friends trust them without question. Because of that, no one imagines they could be the one in danger. But vulnerability often hides behind the brightest personalities, and this character carries an emotional weight far heavier than anyone realizes. The clues have been subtle but consistent. A moment of hesitation when they should be confident. A forced laugh that doesn't reach their eyes. A decision made out of fear rather than strength. These small details build a pattern, one that suggests their world is becoming too complicated. It's too tense and far too fragile. What started as a gentle storyline now has the potential to twist into heartbreak, sacrifice, or even a quiet disappearance from the narrative. Their danger doesn't come from scandal alone. It comes from the pressure of expectations. They are the good one, the sweet one, the steady one. But characters like this break differently. They don't explode, they crumble quietly, piece by piece, until something inside them gives way. A secret they've kept too long, a relationship they can't fix, a choice that traps them between loyalty and survival. Season 4 might push them to their emotional limits. They could face betrayal from someone they trusted. They could be caught in the crossfire of another family's chaos. Or they may finally stand up for themselves in a moment so powerful that it costs them everything. Their fate is dangerous not because they are weak, because they are the heart of the story. And losing the heart always hurts the most. This is the kind of exit that shocks a fandom. The kind that leaves viewers staring at the screen in disbelief. Because if a character so loved, so central, so pure, can fall, and truly anyone can. And that is exactly why the whispers around Season 4 feel colder than before. Sometimes the greatest shock in a Bridgerton season isn't the character we expect to fall. It's the one we never imagined was in danger at all. In Season 4, there is someone whose fate hangs quietly in the background, unnoticed by most of them. The Ton, they aren't the loudest voice or the most dramatic personality. In fact, their story seems calm, steady, almost safe. And that is exactly why their potential exit feels so powerful, so unsettling. This character moves through society with a sense of control. Their choices appear measured. Their relationships seem stable. Their future feels planned out, almost guaranteed. But beneath that calm surface lies a deep tension that has been building across seasons, hidden inside small moments that viewers may not have connected until now. A strange silence during a discussion, a strained glance, a decision that didn't match their usual nature. These are not random details, they are clues. Clues that something inside this character is shifting in a dangerous direction. The surprise. Risk they face doesn't come from scandal or romance, it comes from the story itself demanding evolution. Bridgerton has always loved taking characters who seem unshakable and revealing the cracks they've been hiding. This character, the one fans trust to remain steady, is now standing at the edge of a narrative twist that could change everything. Their removal would hurt, confuse, and shock the audience, which is exactly why the writers might consider it. Imagine the impact. A character whose storyline isn't screaming for attention suddenly becomes the center of an emotional earthquake. A quiet storyline turns into a dramatic turning point. A person who once represented stability becomes the symbol of how unpredictable and unforgiving this season may truly be. Why them? Because their presence has been important, but not central. Their arc is developed, but not fully transformed. Their story has meaning, but not enough momentum to stretch through multiple future seasons. That combination often creates a dangerous place in the world of television. The zone where writers decide a character's departure can deepen the entire story. Maybe they will make a hard sacrifice for someone they love. Maybe they will fall victim to a scandal they never saw coming. Maybe they will exit quietly, with a heartbreaking grace that leaves everyone stunned. Or perhaps their downfall will come from trusting the wrong person at the worst possible moment. Whatever the reason, this unexpected possibility reminds us that Season 4 does not play by familiar rules. No character is too calm, too quiet, or too stable to lose their place in the dance. And sometimes, the biggest shock is delivered by the character we never thought to fear. Every great story has a moment that steals the breath from the audience, a twist so unexpected it rattles the entire narrative. In Bridgerton Season 4, that moment may come from a character no one has even placed on the list of possibilities. A wildcard. Someone who seems completely safe, protected by their charm, their power, or their plot importance. And yet that very certainty may be the trap hiding their downfall. This character carries an energy that makes them feel untouchable. They walk through the season with confidence, as if their place in the story is permanent. The Ton treats them with respect. Their family trusts in their strength. Viewers assume they will be around forever. But wildcard exits are never about logic. They are about impact. And losing a character with such presence would send shockwaves through every storyline. What makes this possibility so thrilling is the ripple effect it would create. Taking them out of the picture doesn't just end their arc, it reshapes the paths of everyone around them. Relationships would fracture, alliances would shift. Secrets they kept might spill into the open. The entire world of Bridgerton would tilt in a new direction. And that is exactly the kind of move a bold, high-stakes season might dare to make. The signs are faint, but present. Sudden tone shift in their scenes. A sense of vulnerability where there was once control. A moment where they confide something. That feels almost like a farewell, though it's hidden under a smile. These are the kinds of details that writers plant before delivering a twist viewers never saw coming. Not because the characters seemed weak, but because removing them amplifies the emotional weight of the season. Imagine the reaction: shock, flooding. Social media, fans replaying scenes to find clues they missed. The Ton whispering louder than ever. A wildcard exit doesn't just add drama, it becomes the moment everyone talks about long after the season ends. It becomes the heartbeat of the story's most intense episodes. But the true power of this twist lies in one simple truth. Wildcard characters make us believe they're safe. Their charm, intelligence, or influence creates a shield that feels unbreakable. And when that shield finally cracks, it reminds us that Bridgerton is not just a romance. It's a world of high stakes, hidden motives, and dangerous consequences. Season 4 could choose this path. It could remove someone we never expected, someone whose absence leaves a silence louder than any scandal. Because sometimes the most unforgettable moment in a season is not a kiss or a confession, but the sudden loss of the character we thought would always be there. Amid all the shifting alliances and hidden dangers of Season 4, there are few characters who stand on firmer ground. Their stories are not nearing an end. They are only opening wider, while the tongue whispers about who may fall. These characters carry arcs that are too important, too unfinished, or too deeply tied to the heart of Bridgerton to risk losing now. These are the figures who anchor the season. Their personal journeys hold threads that stretch far into the future, weaving connections that shape families, romances, and power itself. Removing them would not create drama, would break the structure the series has been carefully building. And that is why they remain safe, even as chaos swirls around them. Some are protected by love stories that have only just begun. Romance in Bridgerton is not simply decoration. It is the foundation. Characters tied to the central love arc of Season 4 cannot fall not yet. Their growth, their conflicts, and their tender moments still hold too much promise. They are the emotional engine, and the season needs them to carry it forward. Others remain safe because they serve as pillars within their families. These characters still have lessons to learn, responsibilities to face, and relationships to heal. Their arcs are chapters, not endings. The audience hasn't yet seen the most vulnerable parts of who they are. And the writers know that unfolding those layers is more valuable than removing them too soon. And then there are those protected by mystery. Characters holding secrets that have not yet fully unraveled are essential. They keep the narrative alive with tension, curiosity, and anticipation. Their presence is a question mark the story still needs. But being safe doesn't mean untouched. These characters will still suffer heartbreak, conflict, and emotional storms. They may lose trust, face betrayal, or stand at the edge of danger, yet the story refuses to let them fall. Not now. Because their futures hold more than finality, they hold transformation. As the season progresses, viewers will begin to recognize the subtle patterns. The characters who step back from danger are the ones still carrying threads the writers want to pull in future seasons. They are seeds planted for later blooms, while others may tremble under the weight of what's coming. These characters stand with a quiet strength that signals they are not done shaping the ton. So, as the final dance of Season 4 approaches, we must accept a bittersweet truth. Some stories end. Some stories break. But some stories are simply preparing for their next beginning.